Hello YouTube, this is Chris, and I'm just doing my deck profile I wanted to show you guys for the April 2014 format. I live in Kansas, and there's hardly anybody around here that plays. There's not any tournament stores, really. I am trying my best. I do have a TCG player event coming up late this April, so if you're in the area, feel free to come by and meet some new Yu-Gi-Oh players, because we really need some more people at our locals. But anyway, I just wanted to have my deck profile on here, because I haven't done a deck profile on this channel ever, I don't think. So, besides, this is the OTS one, and my friend Cage's deck profile. So anyway, this is my Constellar deck profile again. I have changed it a tiny bit, but this is probably what I'm going to be playing most of the format, because this is just the deck that I seem to be able to be successful with. So first of all, a pretty standard lineup. 3 of the Constellar Pollux, the guy that just lets you normal summon again. He's really awesome. He can't be Effect Veilered, and you have to have Light Imprisoning Mirror, Skill Drain preemptively, or I'm still going to get to normal summon again. It's really good. It's the card you want to have. If you don't have Pollux, Algadi's definitely not bad. Instead of the normal summon, however, it's just a special summon. It sucks because, I mean, it can be Maxied and Effect Veilered, but it really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you know, if I've still got another Constellar in my hand, I'm probably going to draw another one, and it's not going to take that long, so you can use the Maxi on it, and you can get your one draw, but it's not really going to break the deck or anything if somebody Maxis. I don't know why people don't always run 3 of these when that's just a slight drawback. They're not always going to have something. You just want to be able to open up as consistently as possible, and that card is just, it's good. And then this is pretty much, if not the best card, one of the best cards. Constellar Kaus, which lets you up their levels by 1 or decrease their levels by 1. It looks really good. It looks really good. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, she thinks it looks good. But basically, it's just, you're going to go into Algadi or you're going to go into Pollux, and you're going to get this in most situations. And it lets you go into, you can make rank 5s, you can make rank 4s, and rank 3s if you want to. I guess this deck could even make Dracosack. Just be patient and protect them for your life, and you could make Dracosack. But that's not the point. So yeah, this is a very, very good card. If not the best card, arguably the best card is probably Constellar Sombre, which basically is the equivalent of Kyrkion for Evil Swarms. The 2 decks just mirror each other. So technically, you just banish one from your graveyard and a Constellar, and then you add the Constellar to your hand, and then you can normal summon again. So if you have a whole bunch, if you use Pollux and go into him, and then you just banish, you get Algadi and special summon again, and you can have an entire field. OTKs are actually possible. So, what's with the weird face?
It tilted the camera.
Oh well. Anyway.
I don't know if it messes that up.
It's okay. I run 2 Constellar Sheridan. I just like to run it because it's that +1 and it is something on the field. I mean, it can get Veilered, I mean, sure, but it's good enough if you have a Kaus in your hand. That's why I always like to search for Kaus, if not Sombre, if I don't have enough targets. Because if this thing survives, you know, you can't use Kaus to make it a 4. So it's not like it's completely useless. It is very, very small. I mean, the guy has a gun. Look at this. He has a gun. And he's 700 attack. That makes no sense. Give the gun to someone. I don't know. He goes and gets help. He doesn't. He's really weak. You can make a 4. I mean, he's good. It just helps consistency. Have to run Honest. It's an all-light deck with the exception of Bear. And of course it's German because I love my German so much. I love German. So it's my second language. So you have to have Ghost Honest. It's just too good, and there's not very many cards that can stop Honest. You attack and you have priority Honest. There's no getting around Honest. You're probably going to win. I mean, they have Divine Wrath or something. Sure. Thunder King. I just put this one in there from the premium gold. I think the lettering looks really good. Thunder King, opening him and a whole bunch of back rows is really good because you can kind of... A lot of decks really do rely on adding from their deck to their hand. So this is a very, very good card. I mean, it even stuff Pot of Duality. Can negate summons, XYZs and Synchros and stuff. So it's a very, very good card, especially because it's light, so it really works. The only non-light card is just Bear. I only run the one Bear, and he's just perfect to get Tankies out. Because Tanky can be used to search for Kaus or him, if you really need him and you need to get rid of a problem monster. Not to mention that little boost can always help, and he can pop stuff with Tanky. So it's just an all-around perfect card for the deck. Let's see, how many monsters is that? 17 monsters. So I used to run 20. I used to main Effect Veiler and Maxi, but I've slimmed down a little bit, just trying to focus more on the engine. The triple Tanky, also just from the new gold pack, it looks good. These are like $3 or $4. I can't spend $50 a piece to get ultimates. It's not gonna happen. So, Tenki, one of the best cards in the deck. I'm really happy it did not get hit. I don't think Tenki's the problem for a lot of those decks. This can just be used in so many decks. I don't think this is the problem when it comes to having issues with, like Fire Fist being really good. But it is essential, that deck, and I'm glad it didn't get hit. And it is really, really good in this deck. This deck is good with 2, but it's great with 3. So, can't complain. Triple MST, because this deck does lose back row if one bad Torrential, and it can really change the game. That's why I also run the double Lance. So if you have Bottomless, you have Torrential, I can at least try and save something. The Sombra can get saved. I keep the play going. I can Lance Pleiades or whatever I need to do just to keep field presence. Or to, this is actually really good also for using with Bear. If they want to attack you, you get a Tenki out of it. So you might as well use the Lance. So, 1 Dark Hole because it's Dark Hole. Dark Hole's good. That's all I have to say about Dark Hole. It's good.
I know, it's pretty. It's short.
I'm glad you think it's pretty. Reinforcement of the army, just to search for Pollux. That's the only target in the deck. It's just, basically, if you run 3 Tenki and you run 3 Kaus, it's basically 6 Kaus anytime you want. And if you run triple Algady and triple Pollux plus this, and that's 7 of an additional summon each turn. So it just really helps with the consistency. Book of Moon, because it's too good not to run. Offensive, defensive, mess up the opponent's plays, pretty much. And that's all for my spells. And now into my traps. I don't play Effect Veiler, so I do play triple Fiendish Chain. I play Fiendish Chain over Veiler right now because I can bounce it back to my hand with Pleiades if it's dead, which is very, very good. So Fiendish Chain I think is a great card. Effect Veiler is really, really good if you want to Synchro or if you just want to prevent anything from stopping it. Yes, this can be MST'd, but I just think the factor of Constellars being able to bounce it back is just too good. You can actually recycle it. It's really, really good. I play triple Trap Stun. Basically, I want to be able to swarm the field when I want to, and unless you have Book of Moon, there's not a whole bunch of cards that can really stop me from trying to get an OTK off, especially if I already have a Pleiades on the field and I have a Sombra in hand. I had the OTK play for 8,000, so this is really, really good in terms of just trying to win the game in 1 turn. Also, it's excellent for Excite-on-Night if you need to just get rid of a card. So if you want Excite-on-Night to hit the field, play this first, and now they have 1 more card than you, so Excite-on-Night is live. I run double Mirror Force. I always ran 1, but I love running 2. It's just that extra protection. They can MST all the back row, and, they're not going to hit the 1, and if the 1 happens to be Mirror Force, then it's, if they overextend, that's going to punish them a little bit. Because Mirror Force is really good. I don't know why a lot of people don't run Mirror Force anymore. It's a little slower. Card. It's a little slower, but I think it's good. And now for the I run 1 Call of the Haunted. I used to run 2. I kind of go back and forth. I think 2 is a bit too cloggy, especially when you have so many continuous traps. But Call of the Haunted is really good in terms of if, the Sombra gets summoned and it gets Torrential right off the bat, or the summon just isn't successful. It's not able to activate its effect that turn, and it just dies before you can do much. Well, you have Call of the Haunted for that. You can just bring it right back, and you can still activate the effect, provided you did not do it that turn. Come to think of it, I don't know what happens if Sombra gets warninged. If you activate Solemn Warning on Sombra, I don't know if you use Call of the Haunted. Target 1 monster in your graveyard, special summon that target, so maybe it is that simple.
Why don't you try it?
Yu-Gi-Oh's always interesting rulings. 1 Torrential Tribute. I'm really hoping this card goes up to at least 2 or 3 because of the new Pendulum Summoning, which is going to be absolutely ridiculous.
It's okay, you can handle it.
It'll be good for my deck, but this Torrential is going to make it far less broken, so I really, really hope that they up that during the next ban list. 1 Solemn Warning, of course, because it's the best trap in the game. Pay 2,000 negate pretty much anything that special summons. It's really, really good. Really pissed off Spellbook players back in the day when they really use Solemn Warning, Spellbook of Judgment. Last 2 cards in the deck, we have Bottomless Trap Hole for obvious reasons and Compulse for obvious reasons. You run them because they're good, right?
Yep, those are the other cards.
Those are the other staple cards.
The cards.
That's the main deck. I think it's 41. 41 seems to be my classic number. In every Constellar build I've topped at regionals multiple times, it always has 41 cards. I don't know why. It's a magic number, I guess. On to the extra deck. 1 Constellar Ptolemy M7. I don't know why it was limited at one point. I don't see any need to run more than 1. Basically, you can just overlay it on a Dead Omega that has no materials, or a Dead Pleiades with no materials. Plus, you cannot use this effect the turn you overlay it like that. Just overlaying it not the proper way. However, if you if it does survive the turn, which hopefully it does, you can target any monster in your graveyard, your opponent's graveyard, or on the field and return it to the hand. So this is a recycler for Honest, this is a recycler for Effect Veiler, or Max C if I side it in, and it's also a recycler if I need that one last piece of the puzzle to make another play. It also gets Sombre back to my hand, so very, very, very good card. I run 1 Omega. It's basically Infestation Pandemic. You detach and you're not affected by spells or traps for the turn. And you know, even if you just detach, you make them use a couple traps, that's good too. I did have a 1 game I used to run 2. I made 2 of them. I was playing Asian Persuasion and I made 2 Omegas. I'm like, I got this. He's got 3 back row. No, he had Mirror Force and 2 Deep Prisons. So, whoops. Well, I guess sometimes they have it. Triple the boss monster Constellar Pleiades, the really control aspect of the deck. Basically compulse on either player's turn, not to mention 2500 beater. It's really, really good. It's very, very good. It's the boss monster of the deck. Yeah, my German again. And then the 2 DTs, you know, you can have some variety. It's very, very control oriented. Nobody, I have to admit, I mean, nobody at my locals likes to play against me much anymore because...
you win?
No, it's not necessarily that. I just think it's the fact that this deck maybe is not that much fun to play against. Then again, when a deck is doing really well, and you're winning, when you're winning the game, you're probably doing what the deck is supposed to do, so your opponent's not going to have that much fun either. If you're playing Lightsworn and you drop 3 Judgment Dragons, or you're playing Dragon Rulers, or you played Spellbook of Judgment back in the day, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I like this deck, I'm sorry. One Abyss Dweller for the Mermail matchup, or maybe Fire Kings, or something like that. Anything that revolves around graveyard control. Starleash Polydynamo. Really good for getting rid of problem monsters, like maybe Babylon Box or YuGiOh, or just something that's a little bit too big for me to handle, has an effect that's annoying, like, I don't know, maybe Maystroke that they have an attack mode, or an Arc, or something like that. 1 Gaga Cowboy. Because he ends games. He has 2 guns. You know, that's why he's better than Sheridan. Sheridan has 1 gun. He has 2 guns.
And he can do much more too.
Yeah, he can do much more. I mean, I only use him for the defense. Do 800. It's just a means to end games usually. I don't think I've ever gone into him for anything else. 1 Lavalval Chain. I play Lavalval Chain. Pretty much, if I'm in a really bad spot, I can make 1 Xyz, and I need to have Sombre on the top of my deck for that 1 push for both top decking. To win the game next turn, or maybe if I just need that 1 Kaus in the graveyard or something like that, when I have a Sombre on the field, you know, whatever works. This just allows you to kind of manipulate the deck and what's in the graveyard a little bit more. 1 Maystroke, it's just too good not to have. It's really high defense, and it can take a beating and detach, flip stuff face down. It solves a lot of issues. It's a very good card too.
Also genderless.
Is Maystroke a boy or girl? That's your decision. This is for you to decide. Is it a boy or a girl? I think it's a boy. I used to think it was a girl. I don't even know. And the 2 most broken new Xyz in the game, number 101 and an Evil Swarming Sciton Knight, both probably 2 of the best Xyz ever to come out. For you guys who don't know, Silent Honor's Arc or Shark just detaches 2 materials and takes control of 1 attack position, special summon monster on your opponent's side of the field, and it can always detach to save itself. It's kind of a Maystroke on crack. Very, very, very good. Very easy to make with all the decks that can make 4 ranks as easy as they can. Really can help you in tight situations. It's a phenomenal card. Evil Swarming Sciton Knight, really, really not the best card for the game, I have to admit. I mean, I was glad to see Heavy Storm go, but I'm the kind of player that just likes to play the way I want to play, and I don't like having to constantly think, oh, is he going to go Sciton Knight? It's basically just Heavy Storm, except destroys everything. But it's not as bad. You have to work harder for this. Heavy Storm is just... You know, you can prevent this from happening. You cannot prevent Heavy Storm. But this card is just, it makes you play a little more careful. You need to kind of think if you don't have any back row or any effect veiler or anything that can stop this effect should it hit the field, then kind of makes you rethink if you want to set everything on the field that first turn, not knowing what your opponent's playing, etc. The Gaia Dragon, Volcasaurus, and Shark Fortress. For the play, you can go for rank 5, you do Shark Fortress and target Constellar's Holemy, so he can attack twice this turn, and then you overlay Gaia Dragon on top of him to attack for 8,000 to end the game. All those cards are very useful, not to mention Volcasaurus. You can... it's really good when Dracosax on the field, or something. You know, if there's lone Dracos, like you're killing a 2600 monster, or killing something that's like an Autumn, or a Megalo even, something like that, and then being able to overlay with Gaia Dragon and attack directly is just devastating. The amount of damage is very, very significant. That's the entire extra deck. And then onto my side deck, we have a lot of the hand traps, 2 Max Cs, 2 Effects Veilers, just for, mainly these for Mermails, or maybe, I don't know, maybe Fire Kings, maybe not. I mean, just something that special summons a lot, or something that really is just, my Phoenix Chains cannot handle all the effects going on. That's pretty self-explanatory. Double Wild Tornado. Wild Tornado is really good against cards like Light Imprisoning Mirror or Skill Drain, cards that really, really hurt me, even Revelry the Warlords, because even if this card gets MST'd at my end phase, it instantly resolves in the graveyard as long as I don't chain it, and I can still destroy 1 face-up card. So I can still get rid of those problem cards. Any face-up card I can destroy if it doesn't resolve, if I just let it go. So it's really, it has a card that has a lot of different potentials, a lot of different plays, a lot of different ways to play it. So it's very, very good. 2 Vanity's Emptiness, I don't use these very much. I used to main them, I just don't like the fact that, you know, I can flip up Vanity's Emptiness and then MST some other card. If your opponent knows what they're doing, they will not MST this, they'll MST something else, and this will go to the graveyard. Which I just don't like that whole, you know, oh wow, straight -1, because Vanity's Emptiness and then they're free to whatever. Anyway, but I don't play it very much, but I still think it has a significant spot. I haven't reworked the side deck in quite a while, but, never know. 1 Macrocosmos to banish everything. 1 Dimensional Fissure to banish all monsters. Just for those decks that really, really revolve around the graveyard control. Double Imperial Iron Wall for stuff like Chaos Dragons. Maybe for Boojins. They have to remove a lot. I don't have a whole bunch of problems with Boojins. When I did go to the OTS in Lenexa, Kansas at Collector's Cache, I did have to play Boojins 4 times in a row to win. So I obviously don't have a bad matchup against them, but Crane is an annoying problem. Yamoto is very, very annoying. So, especially with all the like hair and the turtle prevent the targeting and everything. So it can be very annoying, but I seem to get by okay. DNA Surgery also works for works in spellbooks. Declare anything except Spellcaster. And Master is dead, and Tower won't work if they don't have the Spellcaster in the grave, or there's a whole bunch of spellbook cards that just have to require Spellcaster to work. Also, this works well against Boojins, because their Boojin monsters in the hand will not work. Crane will not work, Turtle will not work, Hair will not work. They don't need to target a Beast Warrior. So you can select something else, and it does not work. So those are the 2 main decks I really use that against. And then the last card is Soul Drain. Mermails, Fire Kings, stuff like that. Zombies, maybe? I don't know. Stuff that revolves around the graveyard. So that's it. That's the deck profile. I hope you guys liked it. Please let me know if you guys have any comments, any suggestions. What do you think about it? I think it's fairly balanced, and I really enjoy playing it. Feel free to comment. What do you think about Constellars? What do you think their future looks like? If they think